Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 2 versus 2, yes indeed, ladies and gentlemen, a 2 versus 2 on Lorraine, the ruins of Lorraine. We shall be watching Atomicbitebite and Guderian from Ruka fighting together for the United States, taking on the fight for, I don't know, the 1st Armoured Division. Opposing them shall be BiffMcGriff and TheEldarPlayer. Hang on, I think he might be playing the wrong game. This isn't Warhammer. Anyways, fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the Panzer Elite. Together they make the 21st Panzer Division. We are seeing Panzer Gunners already heading into the centre. We are seeing Engineers heading into the centre as well. We are seeing a weapon support sent out for Guderian. Barracks set up from Atomicbitebite. Lots of Panzer Grenadiers from BiffMcGriff, and we are seeing the Wehrmacht quarters up for TheEldarPlayer with some pioneers focusing on the flanks, at least the right path, while the Panzer Grenadiers are moving in to secure the centre, with the Kettenkrad securing the south. So clearly the Panzer Grenadiers are there to sort of initially make it difficult for the Allied players to sort of take territory, while the Pioneers and the Kettenkrad secure territory at least as much as possible for the Axes. First unit out for the TheEldarPlayers, in fact, a full Grenadier squad. And they're going a 30 caliber up for Guderian, quickly suppressing the Panzer Grenadiers and quickly ending the life of one under a rain of 30 caliber rounds. Leaving behind only one squad of Panzer Grenadiers now to get overwhelmed by the Engineers, and in fact the Engineers managed to kill one very unfortunate Panzer Grenadier, the grease gun shattering his body or something like that, or at least extinguishing his internal life forces.
Just give me a rifle.
30 caliber moving up quickly, right from the hit, sticking close. Volkskriegs, they're getting caught out in the open. They might even come under fire from the 30 caliber. No, they managed to get away. Riflemen, though, are on the hunt. They are on a mission to hunt the Kraut and end their lives. At the same time, Pioneers heading north. Engineers going for the munitions down there, ignoring the fuel at least initially. More Panzer Gunners ready to take up the fight in the centre. 3 squads, but they're going to... Oh! Immediately coming under fire from the 30 caliber, blobbing up there, proving to be a very daft idea, as it does get quickly stopped vehemently by that 30 caliber. And we are seeing sandbags being laid down, in fact, to reinforce the position. Clearly a bit of... I'm not entirely sure what sort of fence that's supposed to be. Is not going to cover it. Volkskriegs, they're remaining inside the house here. They're going to make anything sort of movement here difficult, though they can't actually cover this area. We are seeing another squad of Volkskriegs going out. So far, lots of infantry from the Germans, a bit of mix of support weapons and infantry for the Allies. A second 30 caliber up here covering the flank. Pioneer coming under heavy fire. Already one man down. Fighting in the centre continues. Volkskriegs and Panzers advancing under fire, though, from the 30 caliber. Rifleman squad hitting a mine, taking losses. Hang on, a mine? No, that must have been someone else then. Or possibly it was detonated by the Panzer Grenadiers. Volkskriegs here, they're coming under fire. They didn't manage to, in fact, force away the 3rd caliber. We are now also seeing a mortar up for Guderian, providing quite the heavy weapons support function right there for the Allies. Not just heavy machine gun fire, but also mortar fire, going to make it rather a bit difficult for the Germans to establish any defensive lines. At the same time, Pioneers here being a bit haunted by the Engineers. Axis are on the retreat on several flanks. We're seeing the Kampfgruppe company out for BiffMcGriff. We're seeing a sniper out for the TheEldarPlayer. Mortar rounds going down on the road. Kettenkrad being exchanged to the 30 caliber, rather designating this area around the postal office is not where you want to go. Further fighting up here, and the Pioneers now been equipped with a flamethrower, forcing away the Engineers with fire and fury. Volkskriegs in the north, and the sniper continuing upwards there. Kampfgruppe company still being finished. Volkskriegs is hanging about here for reinforcement. Not a bad idea, in fact. Again, one could see perhaps, some coordination here between the two players, with BiffMcGriff getting, well, defensive operations, which would hopefully also affect the Volkskriegs. I'm actually a bit unsure on that one. But hopefully, and again, that sense, again, Wehrmacht troops can much quicker, get combat ready and sent back into the fight. Bit of fighting going on here. Sniper supporting a squad of Volkskriegs as they push up here. Although the response from Atomicbitebite is quickly, in fact, taking up position in the house above the Volkskriegs, going to unleash fire, and the rifle going to try and hunt down the sniper, possibly take up position in the house. And it looks like another rifleman squad is going to try and cut off the retreat path of the sniper. This is definitely going to get a bit ugly for the TheEldarPlayer. And there goes. Do see the sniper retreating, but he could get cut down the retreat. The rifleman firing away their semi-automatic M1 Garands, and barely the sniper does make it out of there.
We're losing a fuel
Pioneers
sector.
continuing up north. Rather going in here, the Falcons get suppressed by the 30 caliber, which is actually a World War I weapon, if I'm not mistaken. Which is partly told because of the fact it's a water-cooled gun.
Enemy unit down.
And a unit actually did go down. Looks like it was the Kettenkrab that was lost. 30 caliber holding up here, and we're seeing a sniper out for Guderian. Pioneers are coming under heavy fire, running straight into the rifleman. This could end up very, very ugly. Armor casting coming from BiffMcGriff. It's time to have a look at Guderian. It looks like the Pioneers went down there. BAR's up for Atomicbitebite, increasing his firepower. MG set up by this, I'm not entirely sure, cafe. Opening up on the rifle, Falcons moving in to support the flank, but we are seeing troops moving up to hit the flank of this position. Falcons already suffering heavy losses. Sniper doing what he can, but the sniper's in a terrible condition. Very, very low health. No medics packs for anything. And this position is getting very much overrun. There we go. Flamethrowers opening up. Falcons need to retreat. The MG also needs to get out of there. Panzer gunners in the meanwhile doing what they can down south, while a full force is unleashed upon the TheEldarPlayer. And apparently his MG can't seem to get out of there. And there we go. The MG has been decrewed. A shame the sniper retreats once more. Apparently it would not retreat. Victory point secured. The Wehrmacht is holding up the flanks, but the Americans are making more solid progress now that the two Axis players have split up. And there we go. We're seeing a mortar half-tech up, and we are seeing the armored car up as well, creating a nice mechanized suite of support weapons and other bits. And we're seeing that Guderian is mining up the central avenues. That is good. That is good. Although the Axis player spotting, and there we go. Mortar round down from Guderian. Mine goes off. Rifleman advancing here, coming under fire from the armored car, and there we go. The mortar half-tech firing away. American mortar moving up, and we are seeing it's in here and hitting the snipers. Two snipers up for Guderian, and they're burning up. Come on, Guderian. Don't have your snipers toasted. Although it looks like he finally, TheEldarPlayer's finally got around to hitting his snipers. His foot's going to be in a terrible condition. Kriegberg's going up. Panzer Gunner is trying to put down the pressure they can. They're running into quite some heavy fire and are quickly suffering losses. Mortar rounds dueling with each other. And looks like the American mortar was the one that lost them the first, since it's not the one in an armored half-track. Although in this case this is the lighter variant, which did have some variants, of course, of the half-tracks, but generally not quite as much as the medium, the Mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen, which did, you know, have the potential for having some larger weapons mounted on it, including anti-aircraft guns of different sorts, anti-tank guns also. But we are seeing the two armor cars coming in, flanking the 30 caliber machine gun right there, doing quite a bit of damage to them. Although, I mean, at the same time, this sort of, well, if you look at the chassis, basically, I mean, that was actually ended up turning into an armored car, because this one, in fact, was turned out not to be really that good anyways, and they needed something a bit better off-road, in which case this actually ended up receiving this turret, and thus becoming an armored car of its own. We are seeing the heavy 30 caliber machine gun there on the run. Smaller approaches from the Wehrmacht towards the north of Minesweepers up for the TheEldarPlayer. And we are seeing the first Greyhound out for Guderian, who does have a motor pool. No doctrine from him as of yet. Forces moving in towards the south. Panzer gunners, and a mine goes off, damaging the engines of the armoured cars. This could in fact be a moment for the Greyhound to come in. And we're seeing two mortar half-tacks up. We're also seeing a pack out from the TheEldarPlayer. We are seeing the Greyhound moving out, running up on the MG, getting a nice kill there. Mortar half-tacks running a bit of problem. Oh, sniping! Dire straits! Dire straits! Needs to get out of there. Rückzug, oh, whatever. Mortar half-tack takes a hit. We are seeing forces following up there. Engineers getting pinned down. In fact, there's the armored car's getting a bit too much ahead of itself. Bit of a risky move. And looks like the pack can't actually deal it. Can't turn. Mortar round, though, hits the engine block of the armored car and is damaged. The Greyhound getting out. Mortar half-tacks, I mean, getting out of the Greyhound. Looks to be very much dead in the water. Further force moving up. We're seeing Grenadiers up for the TheEldarPlayer. We're seeing the MG-42 suppressing the American infantry, at least very much soon. There we go. Pioneers on the follow-up. And the Greyhound does go down in the end. Sniper fire, though, quickly tears through the Grenadiers, but the riflemen themselves run straight into the MG42. Fulskers doing what they can to hold the line. Mortar half-tacks providing a nice thick blanket of firing support. Definitely a very small, mechanized, armoured mortar battery. And incendiary round going down straight where all the support weapons expect to be, and we already seen one of the 30 calibers could go down. There we go. They burned alive like hot dogs. No, unless it's a very poor cook, it wouldn't have been hot dogs. Anyways, let's go look at the Elder player, who's taking a bit of losses. His infantry, though, is still there, although in some cases in slightly great conditions. No taking up, no Kampfkraft sense as of yet. We are seeing the Pioneers moving up. They're having secured the northern victory point and the southern victory points also. I mean, the way that the Allies are currently playing it, that is only one player has infantry, is also forcing them to focus very much in the same spot, which does mean they have a bit of a harder time actually securing map control. They should at the very least perhaps send one armoured car down there with something else to sort of keep that flank clear, and again perhaps also that way force the Axis players to split up themselves a bit more. Just a thought anyway, since, I mean, the current unit composition of the Axis forces would rather suggest that an armoured car working on the flanks would be much more devastating than one charging straight into them. Rifle fighting here, though, against Panzer Grenadiers in some ruins. Armoured car following up, although mortar rounds are falling down. 5 kills so far. And there we go, a bit of harassment up north. Mines being laid down, MG moving up. Panzer's leg up for the Grenadiers. Panzer is well able to force away the rifle, but there we go. Nice mortar round, securing another few kills and gaining veterans one for the mortar team. That's definitely going to be a bit of a headache for BiffMcGriff for starters. No doctrine as of yet, though. Not necessarily very good. And we are seeing tagging up going on. In fact, Sturm Army, in which in fact is where then perhaps the Elder player could consider getting an LMG for some of his Grenadiers. Further fighting down here, 30 caliber, remaining one at least, trying his best to hold back the Germans. Looks like an anti-tank gun does arrive for Guderian. Causeway right here getting hammered by mortar rounds. BiffMcGriff doing his best to ensure that the Allies cannot advance. Right here, in fact, coming under punishing fire from the armored cars and the all-troop cannons. And we're seeing the snipers, they might get revealed by the armored cars. There we go, 2 snipers could be. Oh my! Armoured car goes down, mine detonated, saving the snipers. Anti-tank gun firing as well. Perhaps that the anti-tank gun actually did the work. No, it was the mine. Absolutely nasty stuff. At the same time, veterans did 2 for the mortar. It's gotten 12 kills now. Good lord. And quite impressive. Definitely going to be a mortar you want to be careful with, in particular if it actually managed to reach veterans 3. Then you definitely do not want to be on the wrong side. At the same time, we are seeing a repair bunker going up for the Elder player. 21st Panzer Division fights on. 21st Panzer Division, after Normandy being sent back for refitting, having taken quite a bit of damage, when afterwards there fought around the Alsace-Lorraine region, doing its best to keep Patton's advance there in check, and did so, in fact, quite alright. Grenadiers here, though, getting hunted down by riflemen. Charging ahead, 2 squads with BARs versus 1 Grenadier squad with a Panzer effect. Definitely not going to be good for the Grenadiers in particular, but we do see an MG42 and another Grenadier squad at the church, setting up a blocking position, although they could get overwhelmed by an even larger force sneaking in from another angle as well. Riflemen, though, so far getting suppressed. You could even see a grenade right into this advancing horde. MG, there we go. Oh, grenades out from Atomicbitebite, but oh, there's the mine goes off. The Grenadiers could go down. Nasty, nasty, and we're seeing the snipers following up. And the Grenadier squad went down at the same time, though. The Allies are completely neglecting the south again. A bit of the problem with the current unit composition and how they two are playing, which again rather means they're rather allowing the Axis forces to sort of dominate just fewer positions, where it's rather where they excel, whereas as the Allies, they're not quite getting that full, numbers and larger, mobility advantage out there. We do see a full assault going up here. Mortar round firing awfully close. All of these clamped up Panzer sniping, doing what they can, and there we go. Full retreat. Even some Panzer Grenadiers with Sturmgewehrs. But again, I do feel that the unit composition that the Allies have is not the most conducive one at the moment. The mortar half-tacks so far with 12 kills, 11 kills in fact. Still alright. and certainly quite a bit of a nuisance to the Allies, I wager. In fact, let's go look at BiffMcGriff. Increase about doctrine. MP40 Fultz Grenadiers being supported up by Pioneers and a Sniper. Anti-tank gun moving about. Not really, again, the best situation with all these mortar half-tracks about. Snipers opening up. American mortar also needs to be careful. There we go, seeing a grenade up. Nasty damage there. And I do believe the mortar half-tracks are trying to range in on the American mortar.
The enemy once more.
An armoured car doing a bit of damage here and there. Snipers moving about. And yeah, that just looks horrific. Looks like the anti-tank gun tried to assault the mortar half-tracks and said now it's going to get a nasty reception from German Panzer Grenadiers. And there we go. Anti-tank gun cleared out. The Panzer guns advancing straight into sniper fire and riflemen advancing. North a bit contested, but so far looks like the Axis are holding out there. And again, the South seems to have been largely forgotten by the 1st Armoured Division. We're seeing Panther battle groups activated for BiffMcGriff. And we're seeing a Panzer Command going up for the TheEldarPlayer at the very same time. So clearly the Germans are now going to really give it up a notch for the fatherland. Riflemen sneaking about. American forces advancing. A bit of a fire here.
We can now booby-trap buildings to confound
Scorched Earth Doctrine from BiffMcGriff.
Attention, the enemy advances.
Engineers clamping up there. Lots of engineers, in fact, from Atomicbitebite and Guderian. Still would have liked to see some infantry from Guderian as well. Perhaps even just some Rangers or airborne. Oh, mortar. Oh, the engineers just getting devastated, savaged by the German mortars. Again, these dual mortar half-tracks really turn out to be devastating. Really able to get down a punishing barrage of death from above. Fultz guns moving in. And the Panther battle group has arrived, providing lovely Panzerkampfwagen 5. And at the same time, the TheEldarPlayer going for Panzer 4. So clearly a sort of role division going on between the two players. With the Panthers, of course, going to BiffMcGriff. And that's also the more direct armor fighting. Whereas the sort of more overall panzers, general panzers that could deal both of the infantry armor going to the TheEldarPlayer, meaning that both players will be able to handle armor, but at least the TheEldarPlayer can then hold out until the Panthers arrive, and vice versa. That is, if the Panthers run into awful infantry firepower, they can wait for the Panzer 4 to try and extract them, or save them out of the mess. So really nice, you know, how should one say this? Oh, role distribution. Interesting enough, no defensive operations up for the Axis. I mean, for BiffMcGriff, I mean, really would make sense with his Panzer Grenadiers in their current state. Plus, of course, again, would allow the TheEldarPlayer to make usage of it as well. Overall, would be very beneficial. Sort of like, you know, again, with the, for example, the Allies, you know, one of them builds a tree ascender, but... And there we go, in fact, Atomicbitebite has it there, so they all sort of focus up there and reinforce and heal up there. Again, coordination. Panther takes a direct hit from some mortar. 14 kills on it. And looks like we do see the German mortars might in fact be setting in for some counter-artillery missions on it. Finally home to knock it out. And there we go. Mortar crew taking intense fire from the Germans. At the same... There we go. Dead. German infantry fighting in the north, fighting against a Greyhound who was trying to stay out of the range of the Panzerschreck and the Panzerfaust. Sector artillery up now for BiffMcGriff. Heavy artillery being set in to secure, hold territory in case of a sudden American advance. And there we go, Germans rolling in for Guderian. Looks like the 1st Army is now pushing towards the north. And looks like all of the armor from both Axis players all turning to north. Both players rather figuring what's going to go on there. But clearly the Axis are better prepared. Arriving here under intense fire from the Panzer Force and the armored cars and the Panthers. Sticky bomb on the Panzer 4. Sherman slowly advancing, needs to be careful. And looks like he might be trying to lure them into a mine. Armored car down. Sticky bomb on the Panzer 4, but ultimately the riflemen were pushed away with intense casualties. Engineers unleashing fire onto the Panther, not really managing to do anything except slightly ruin the paintwork. And an intense lack of anti-tank assets. We do see anti-tank guns being rushed up rather swiftly from both players. And now we do see that both Axis players are in fact moving away the armor from the north, probably expecting this to be the result and then preparing to attack elsewhere. Quite nice move. But let's go over to the mid-game analysis. Current situation. The Axis are holding the large majority of the map. Again, this sort of role division currently going on between the two allies rather means they can't hold a lot of territory, which rather means that the German players, both of whom have infantry, and of course then get support units. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't get support units, but always have some infantry first, then support with either, say, mortars or heavy machine guns or whatnot. Which is rather what the Panzer Division actually demonstrates quite nicely. But I mean, it does allow the Axis players to hold more territory and attack more aggressively, and that again is the current result. With only, you know, Atomicbitebite having to have all his 4 rifle squads on the line constantly, and there's no medic stations either to help with attrition or anything. So it rather means, again, you know, limited sort of overall combat effectiveness. And again, it rather does also mean they have to get really insanely good with the coordination between the two, and again, they will still run into some problems unless they can really deliver a grand blow to the Axis, which they so far have not really been able to. And now again, with all the armor arriving, I mean, they're in a bit of trouble. They need themselves some more armor, some tank destroyers, but they also need, you know, some infantry from Guderian, I think, and they need to move here. They need to begin spreading out the Germans if they want even the slightest chance, because currently, again, they're allowing this sort of situation where the Germans can focus all of their armor in one part of the map and pretty much beat down the Allies. So I'd say that's important. They also need to get a doctrine up. They seem to have not gotten that as of yet. The Axis, on the other hand, need to keep pushing, need to keep up the pressure, possibly even want to sneak in some armor here and do some damage down there, but otherwise, you know, dig in and hold out for the fatherland. But let's return to the fight. Panthers also need to point in the right direction.
Just listen to that.
Now goes Sherman getting repaired. Anti-tank is moving up, but again, now they're leaving this entire area quite exposed. Panzer IV, though a bit damaged, going to need some repairs. Panzer was taking a bit of nasty damage. More half-tanks, in fact, moving up to support operations up here, although there's no real infantry except, well, there's a sniper. Probably acting as a spotter for the mortars. Greyhound moving in, getting down a Greyhound mine. Incendiary rounds going down left and right. Mines going off, cooking off everything, and artillery going in. Sector artillery going down, hitting the artillery crew, annihilating it. And an engineer gets blasted by a Panther. There's a Sherman, and this Sherman gets a German sniper. Sector artillery, though, gets a direct hit on this Sherman, doing terrible damage, and now the Panthers are setting in. And the anti-tankers are not quite ready, missing a Greyhound, which has not been upgraded with armoured skirts. Allied war machine is up, saving, ultimately ensuring that will be a replacement Sherman. Panthers, though, continue their advance. Tank destroyer arriving, and now we're seeing the Panzers flanking in. Nice movement, although I do think that Mr. TheEldarPlayer might have gone a bit too close. Quickly pulling out, quickly drawing in the American infantry. Both Panzer IVs, though, spectacularly managed to miss their targets. Again and again, less impressive mortar rounds going down, and we see the Greyhound's engine has actually been damaged. The Greyhound itself is very close to an utter collapse. Fighting going on here now. We do see the Allies on a full advance everywhere, even sneaking in the south. And we do see a rocket half-track up for the TheEldarPlayer, the Stuka Sufus. MG making a run for the medic bunker, taking up a defensive position. Volkswagen's doing what they can, forced away. Booby traps going off, killing an engineer squad, and we're seeing more armor. We're seeing a Calliope rolling in from Guderian into the town center. MG holding out in the medic bunker. Victory point in the north was stolen despite the sector artillery. And there we go, Calliope rockets hammering down on the Panzers and the half-tracks and the armored car. And we see Veterans 2 up for the TheEldarPlayer's armor. But this one is in a terrible condition. Panzers advancing, medics continue to pull in wounded grenadiers, Volksgrenadiers and Panzer Grenadiers alike. At the same time, we do see the Allies pushing further and further north. It looks like a sudden reversal came about thanks to Calliope and some fun, you know, not just tagging in one spot at the same time.
Hey, you maggots wanna live forever?
Panthers quickly shifting. More repairs will be needed from everyone. Repair pioneers on the job. Looks like, and we're seeing offensive efficiency for the Panther, increasing accuracy. Anti-tank and on the Panther. Which look like we're seeing a sticky bomb on the Panther. Then again, Panther makes it out of there, and we do see supporting infantry quickly tearing through the riflemen. And again, the mortars on the move. 17 and 9 kills. Doing great, doing great. Engineers getting murdered.
Enemy unit down.
And the Panther went down. Calliope barrages tear through it. Only one Panther left from BiffMcGriff. Panthers trying their best to hunt down the anti-tank gun. And a second barrage. The Panzer force themselves are not in a good condition. We can see the second Panther goes down. Sherman rolls in towards the north, only holding together the center now are two Panzer force, one of them which is in a questionable combat condition. The half-track is not in a good condition either. In fact, it's a bit backed up against the wall. Anti-tank and survivor making a quick swift advance. And there we go, Panzer 4 moving up. Support units getting sniped. Anti-tank quickly setting up. 3 Panzer 4s up for the EldarPlayer. They're quickly running into problems. Heavy damage. Mortar half-tracks doing what they can to provide support, but already one Panzer 4 is bit in the dust. And looks like a second Panzer 4 also goes down. Sherman out of control. Armor car doing what they can to stem the tide, but the Allies are suddenly advancing with quite the alacrity. And the situation is getting worse and worse for the moment. And the half-track finally goes down to an anti-tank gun. Snipers opening up. Medic bunker exposed. Has not been able to put together an infantry squad. Armored car down. Looks like complete collapse. Another Panther battle group quickly rolled out though. And the mortar half-tracks continue to rain death upon the Allies as they advance. Clearly turning out to be one of the more clever units and unit choices in this matchup. MG advancing, Panzer 4 hold up by the repair bunker rifle advancing, Panzer goes moving up, mortar rounds collapsing, and we're seeing sectors really going in as well. Calliope directly on the Panzer 4 and the Pioneers. Not on the mortars though. And just a full rain, the repair bunker vanishes into fine concrete dust. Let's go look at Guderian. 300 points for the Germans, but the Allies are 121. If the Germans are to regain the fight, they might be able to push back the Allies a bit more decisively. Greyhounds moving about. Panthers advancing. Tank destroyers arriving for Guderian. 2 Calliopes, an anti-tank and a sniper. Again, not an awful lot of units for him as well. In a sense, although I'm pretty sure he might have more at the moment than the EldarPlayer, who's got a few Knights Cross and other assorted units still breathing. And the mortar half-tracks are once more advancing. 28 kills so far. It looks like an anti-tank is going to be the next target. And there we go, direct hit. Meaning there's going to be no anti-tank coverage. In fact, the Panthers could try and advance. Oh, well, there's still one there, but that's one anti-tank gun less nonetheless. More Calliope rockets going in. Trying to get the mortar half-tracks, but already there. BiffMcGriff had shifted his mortar half-tracks, having, of course, predicted a counter-artillery attempt by the Calliopes, but now they do hit elsewhere, and the mortar half-tracks taking heavy hits. The MD crew dies to a rocket. And smaller movements going on. I see a booby trap's going off and looks like an engineer squad. There we go, direct hit from the booby trap. Another engineer down to one man. And the Panzer guns will finish off with the assault rifles. Sturmgewehrs. Feuer frei. And there we go, the Americans died. And already one victory point has fallen into the German hands once more. And there's not exactly a large force being able to hold the north of the sea. Knights cross the Ritterkreuzträger moving in, but no veterancy from the TheEldarPlayer. Interesting. Panthers holding up the center. Mortar half-tacks. Ooh, heavily damaged. Panzer IV still getting repaired. And we are now seeing a King Tiger rolling out for the TheEldarPlayer, the Königstiger. King of the battlefield. And we do see the Knights Cross here getting into a bit of trouble. Although Propaganda will quickly clears out their flank, allowing them to securely take this area before another wave advances viciously and without remorse. And we do see the panzers being shifted north, the heavy panzer being left for the center. Mortar half-tacks now getting repaired finally. And BiffMcGriff wonders what his opponents are doing. And TheEldarPlayer spotting out what's going on. They are regrouping for another assault. And there go tank destroyers rolling out. Only barely able to turn in time. The tank destroyers advance. We're seeing Allied war machine popping up. Saying that one Panther. But looks like they're already shifting targets in some cases. And there we go. We're also seeing a Calliope barrage going in straight on the tank destroyers, knocking out themselves. And looks like none of the Panthers actually go down. Not even the Panzer IV. So that was a bit of a waste. Although we do see anti-tank guns sneaking up on the flank. Could try and get off a shot. If they could only see them. Oh, they did, but they missed. Larry. And there we go. Panther hitting the rear. Out of control.
Enemy unit down.
But making a shift and move towards the northern half of the town. And we're seeing another wave of tank destroyers. We're seeing the King Tiger coming under heavy fire. Anti-tanks moving into flank. And we're seeing a tank destroyer from Atomicbitebite as well. Panzer IV the moves in. Panzerfaust from the Volksgun is King Tiger. And even perhaps a Panther could be summoned in to provide some flanking cover. Anti-tank is advancing with full support from Atomicbitebite, and then both tanks are going to go down in seconds. And there we go, the Panzer IV finishes the job. While the Americans advance from the north, getting ever closer. All they're having a bit of trouble moving in through the courtyard here with all their anti-tank guns. Knights Cross moving northwards. Fulton is getting suppressed. King Tiger advancing up, and we're seeing more Panthers up from BiffMcGriff. And another volley of rockets fly across the skies, extinguishing German lives. More rockets flying across, shifting over to the TheEldarPlayer again. Another Panther goes out of control. Others coming under fire. The Germans are once more bit on the retreat. South getting harassed again, although only one engineer who's definitely going to get kicked into the dirt with jack boots on. Mortar half-tanks moving up again to deliver more mortar barrages on the anti-tank guns. Tank destroyer moving in. Panthers getting blasted. The Panthers from BiffMcGriff are not doing so much. I mean, really, what is the start of BiffMcGriff's force are these two mortar half-tracks. Really, they're just able to really get that much more mortar fire down than just one mortar half-track. And the sort of way he just uses them is quite wondrous. Tank destroyer down. No additional Panzers on the way from the TheEldarPlayer. And there we go. The troops down south are dead. Booby traps being laid down. 49 victory points left, and we're seeing armor cars being used to take points. So that also means Atomicbitebite's gone armor doctrine now, which means they're not really getting any sort of full spread of doctrinal abilities, and that way a bit more versatility. And so far he's only really using armor to take points, not say a Calliope or a Pershing. And I mean, if both players get a Pershing out, they might have a slight chance of breaking through the German lines. But another Calliope barrage straight on, this time on the mortar half-tracks. But looks like they might actually get out of there. And going for the central victory point. Sector artillery down. Panther taking hits. And we're seeing a Calliope barrage straight on the Volksgun, trying to take the point. They're just getting murdered here. Suppressed even. One man alive. But he takes it. And he makes a run for it. And the Panther goes down again. I mean, these Panthers are just going down left and right. Question is if BiffMcGriff actually needs more Panthers or just not more infantry. Because clearly he's not getting that much out of them. In comparison, the Panzer IVs are doing more work. Now we've got another Panzer IV arriving. 21st Panzer Division are suffering quite a bit though in the Panzer area. Tanks, armor car and anti-tank and sneaking about in the north. More incendiary rounds. In fact, just laying down one just to ensure no one goes for that victory point. And there's no one to hold there as we do see a large force moving in from Atomicbitebite, but we are seeing Panzer gunners moving in and counter to try and protect and hold the area. Panzer IV doing what I can up north, encountering riflemen and unleashing high explosive rounds of machine gun fire. Knights Cross following up. Good, good. More infantry short the better. And now we're seeing a Greyhound moving down south. Apparently no, someone got stuck in the ground. And boob traps going off. Armor cars, well, not really going to care about that. Oh, the Germans can't really do much. They will need to send something down there to deal with the Greyhound. Moving up north, but encountering intense resistance. Definitely going to require a larger force to break through that. Perhaps say the King Tiger artillery going in on the center. Oh dear. Looks like the mortar half-tracks finally bit the dust as the Clippers were finally able to extinguish the quite troublesome mortar half-tracks. Going for the victory point again. Very desperate assaults going in from the Allies in an attempt to sort of, well, save the day. Rifleman squad goes down though to the Panzer IV. Another one flanks the Panzer IV, but the Panzer IV turns its turret, opens up with MGs as well, gets sticky bombed. And there we go, the rifleman quickly legging it at the same time, though. Looks like Atomicbitebite is prepared for a major punch from the north as well, trying to extinguish the Panzers there. Rifleman coming under fire from the other Panzer IV. Volksguns moving up. And no, they're actually pulling back. They're not making a move forward. Machine gun replacement going down. Southern victory point being secured. Anti-tank gun also arriving to support the Greyhound, making a push there, holding slightly to the center. And we are seeing both Panthers now being sent southwards. And let's go look at BiffMcGriff. The biffiest McGriff they're ever biffed. Barely any infantry left. Again, I think he would have benefited from defensive operations. He could also benefit a bit from a Hummel to say bombard some of these anti-tank gun positions a bit more soundly. And Greyhound down south bites dust, opening up for the Panzer gunners to sort out the anti-tank gun. And again, more Calliope barrages unleashed. Panther takes direct hits to the flank and out of control. The Pioneers getting murdered as well. And another Panzer IV coming out. I mean, the TheEldarPlayer is incredibly consistent on just getting Panzer IVs out. I mean, they're actually doing quite alright for the larger part. Anti-tank on the advances, under fire from the King Tiger immediately. Anti-tank and advancing up there, but getting flanked by the Panzer gunners, the Sturmgewehrs clearing out the crew, and BiffMcGriff going, "We did it! We won for the Fatherland," or possibly not. That's exact thought. But there you go. Tank destruction movement coming under fire from the German Panzers and are quickly retreating in the face of such. And oh dear, the Panzer IV went down, but there are of course more Panzer IVs to move in. Immer mehr Panzerkampfwagen 4. Anti-tank gun getting recruited again. Panzer IV got stuck. So much for German engineering, eh, Hans? And that sect actually... No, that's a Hummel. A Hummel has arrived to bombard the central area. King Tai getting blasted. Absolute desperate efforts to hold the central victory point, no matter the cost. And propaganda war unleashed. GG. Units dying left and right. And there we go. Game over. The King Tiger actually goes down, but it's too late now for the Allies to do anything. Had they had a few more victory points, they might have won. And game over. A vicious 2 versus 2 with quite the intense ending. And the Allies probably could have won this again if just they'd partly split up in terms of doctrines. You know, either infantry or airborne. I think Guderian should have gone that, so he had some infantry of his own. I think infantry doctrine would have suited him a bit better, perhaps also more from artillery. That way they might have had a chance overall, and able to spread out a bit. And again, that was sort of the problem. The Germans were able to contain them here quite nicely. I was too late when they actually moved about here and here, and even down here, it was basically just to get the victory point. And they didn't even bother with the resources. It's really some, I think, lack of aggressiveness from the Allies, and again, the sort of starting unit composition from Guderian, rather than forcing them to be much more passive. And no medic stations either. There was a medic bunker from the TheEldarPlayer, but I think that should have been up earlier as well, and some infantry veterancy. But overall, nice play from the Germans. I mean, they really had some infantry on the field, which is good. They had some coordination again. Those two mortar half-tracks really turned out to do quite a number on the Allied forces. A really nice play there. Overall, I hope you enjoyed this match, learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and so on.